Finally back on the shop projects. I got Ben back here. He showed up. He's going to help me put the hot side on Gene's truck. We haven't been able to work on some stuff because if you're following the channel, I've been working on heating the shop for the winter. But finally back on the project. So today we're going to get to this stuff back here. So we're going to use an eBay hot side, and I think I bought this for like 200 bucks. And usually with the eBay stuff, you really want to check your flanges and make sure that there's no warp to them. And typically they are really warped badly. So as we look, surprisingly, I don't really see anything. Take the parallel. There's just a little bit there. That one's flush. That one's flush too. So this thing's going to seal up. There's no need to mill the flange on it. So we should be good to just pull the manifolds on the truck. Yeah, I'm suddenly unmotivated. That's all right.
That's why I'm here.
That is why you're here. Ben hasn't been here for a while either because he just had a baby. You can't tell that he just had a baby, but he had a little girl. That's going to have to go as well, and I don't really know how it's held in there. So yes, just yank on it. You're good at yanking stuff. Well, this isn't going to be too exciting, so we'll just time lapse it and make it go by really fast for you guys. So the exhaust manifolds are coming off fairly easy so far, which is what you'd expect from...
The bolts are coming out.
Yeah, the bolts are coming out easy. Which would you expect for 75 or 80,000 miles on it? What did you just break?
Nothing.
You broke something.
No, I just heard the exhaust.
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
stuck to the head.
Yeah, mine wasn't either. It just dropped. So yeah, it's coming off pretty easy. So hopefully we'll just be able to raise it up and unbolt the Y pipe. This has been kind of tough pulling this thing apart because the truck means a lot to me, and I really enjoy driving it how it was occasionally. But in reality, because it was his and it was all his, I've let it sit most of the summer, and I really think that cars or hot rods in general are meant to be driven. Like, they do you no good if they're just sitting in the garage. They'll just rot there. So it's important to me to make it somewhat mine so I can drive it and enjoy it. And this is something that we can always reverse. We can always put all this factory parts back on that was originally with it. But we got to make it mine. Got to make it fun and cool, at least to me. The only leak on the vehicle so far.
I was going to say something's leaking a little bit.
Yeah, the exhaust. Oh no, hopefully there's room to get that out of there.
These trucks are so hard to work on.
What? Yours came out so easy, mine's probably gonna fight me around the steering shaft.
I hope so.
It would too. Oh, it is gonna fight me. The EGR valve tube.
Do we need to do it from the bottom?
No, we just need to unhook the EGR tube.
What?
It has an EGR valve, and it has a tube that goes on the back.
What are emissions?
So I think Ben will try to fit the passenger side header, and I'll fight the EGR tube.
That's gonna suck.
After we just got talking about hot rods are made to be driven and enjoy, this man says that he's not gonna put a dipstick on his car because it's not gonna be driven enough. Yeah, and he's all like, yeah, they're meant to be driven.
They are.
Except his, evidently.
I mean, if I drive my car more than 3,000 miles, I have a problem.
I want to be realistic. He has to finish his car in order to be able to get it to drive 3,000 miles, which...
That's a lot of miles on that car.
It may or may never happen. I really don't know what size it's going to be, so I just brought everything.
And actually, I don't know what we're going to do about that dipstick tube. Because the headers are going to cover that too.
Make it work, Ben. Yeah. Is it? Is it gonna fit?
I only bolt parts on.
You do only bolt parts on. You're a parts replacer.
Sure.
He just buys new.
Yep.
So I got something embarrassing I want to talk about. We'll have to put the intake manifold on this eventually, the multi-port. And it's been so many years since I've had to time anything.
You don't know how to time it?
I don't remember how to time.
A distributor?
You twist it until it sounds good.
No, we'll be all right. Oh, that's why no one uses these.
What?
It hits the... It's right there.
Because I think that it's just hitting that controller mount.
That is what it's hitting.
Yeah, you just get the ball peen out and...
That is strong. Is it stainless?
Mm-hmm. You want me to heat it?
No. We'll try that.
We know it's not enough because he's gonna try that because he thinks it's enough. You know, when you do this stuff, when you think it's enough, you hit it at least 6 more times. Ben has hit this thing about 10,000 times and finally got the clearance that we needed, kind of. But you can see where he's clearanced that up there, but we're still gonna hit the frame and the starter. So even after all of that clearancing, it's still not gonna fit. And the driver's side, actually, it fits pretty good. But the crossover doesn't fit very well at all. And so what we're gonna do is, luckily we don't have any money really, I should say, don't have any money. We have a little bit of money invested in this, but we're just gonna have to take the cutoff wheel and start cutting and fitting. What do you think, Ben?
Close enough.
Close enough doesn't work. Like it's not going to work, literally.
It's gonna work. We'll get it.
We're just gonna cut it up.
We're gonna cut it up. Yeah. We're gonna do what we thought we hoped. We're gonna do what we hoped we didn't have to do.
Yeah.
And here we are doing it. Because
that's not gonna fit either. Nothing fits.
not no worky.
But it was such a bargain on eBay.
Yeah, heard that before.
I think it was a universal fit that someone put on.
They were like, this will work.
Yeah, and it doesn't work, which is about right, because it would have been too easy if it did. It would have been sweet if it worked. I was really optimistic because sometimes I get lucky, but yeah, I should have known.
And this gives you your opportunity to just and V-band it.
Still cheaper and faster than building headers.
Oh my God, yeah.
All right, Ben had to take off. Kind of ran into more hiccups here, which kind of bites the big one. I don't know what to think. I mean, we get this with a cheap turbo kit. I mean, of course I was hoping that I would buy it and it would just bolt on and just kick ass, but that's not the case. And that's probably going to be the thing with 99.8% of turbo kits that you find on eBay. We finally just ended up cutting this off down low here where the crossover is going to be. I ended up checking the turbo on this and the turbo's not going to work. Turbo hits the alternator. So that's no good. So what I've done is I've ordered a 45-degree T4 adapter, ordered some 2.5-inch stainless pie cuts to wiggle over that control arm mount and get in between the frame, and a couple other things, some V-bands. We're just going to modify this and make it work. And this is basically what I've come up with. Hi, Sylvie. Anyways, so I came up with, we ended up with, yes, 6 pie cuts. Came out, I had to snake it over here. This gap is kind of inevitable just because of how I had to cut the log to get it over the way I needed it to. And then we did the kick down here, and I'll put a V-band on the end of it. So if we put this how it lined up previously, you can see how off this header actually was. We need to end up moving it over 1 inch back. Kind of hard to see, but right there's our pipe coming through. We've got just a little bit of clearance between the frame there. I'm touching the belt housing, but I can ding that in just slightly. It's coming out at a nice angle to match up with the other side. That should work. So I think we use like 6 pipe pieces in a straight piece. I'm still kind of a newbie when it comes to TIG welding. I'm actually gonna run this down the road to a friend of mine, Jerry. He has a shop down there and I'll just hire him to weld it. I'm just not good enough with welding stainless. I'd love to MIG it. However, with all of these pipe ends being stainless, I just want it to be TIGged with stainless. The V-bands, I may or may not MIG or try to TIG myself. I actually don't even have a stainless rod here for my TIG machine, but now the good news is I have enough scrap that I can practice up on TIG welding. Just got these back from Jerry from him welding them up. I'll just kind of show you what I've done with them and then how he welded them up for me. So initially, this one had a 3-bolt flange on it. We did away with that. Don't need that. We put some V-bands on it. Other than that, this header it fit decent enough. I didn't need to worry about it. Then of course, now this header, I had to move this around and get it to go where I needed to. Extended it down. We ended up putting the V-band on it. And then because the turbo was hitting the alternator, I bought this 45 and it wasn't working out well enough. So we cut some out of the throat here and then we ended up changing it to about a 65-degree angle. I hope it's going to be enough. I don't know. We'll stick it on and see what we got. Try this again. Oh, that's weird. That went in right away. That never happens. Usually it takes a lot more work than that. That looks a little better. Still off to the side quite a bit. It's not exactly where I wanted it. Tight clearance there. A little bit tighter here for clearance than that. I'm gonna have to really shoot this down and back. I think we can make it work. I'm still not completely happy with it. Huh. I don't know. I'm gonna tinker around with it, take it off, check it out, and see if I can get exactly what I'm looking for. I'm kind of being picky on this because I really want it to be what I want. Hell, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll come up with something different, or I won't. So we're almost done with this crossover, and I should be able to take this off. I think I'm done messing with the hot side for a little bit. There's a couple reasons why. One is I really need to TIG weld that crossover pipe, and I'm having the one log header modified for one last time to drop the turbo down just a little bit. I want to weld that crossover pipe myself. I want to do the down pipe myself. And I have a TIG welder here, and I've TIG welded aluminum here and there just enough to get by, but I haven't actually sat down and practiced well enough to be confident in welding everything right on the fly. The plan is at least get a table set up so I have some room to improve my TIG welding skills. This is a DIY channel. I want to do almost everything myself, and I don't always want to run stuff down to Jerry and have him do it. He's really good at what he does, and he's been a tremendous help on getting me set up and how to learn on some of this stuff. But overall, I want to do it myself. I mean, these are all the projects that I've done. This is my first turbo kit that I've ever fabricated. Well, second. The first one doesn't count. That was back in like 2005 or so, but we won't talk about that one. So we'll be on hold for a little bit until I buy myself a small welding table, whether I get it from somewhere online or I build my own. I'm hoping to build my own. I've been kind of going through the local scrapyard and picking through some of their stuff. It'd be really nice to find like a 1/2-inch plate or a 3/4 inch plate, maybe 2 foot by 4 foot, and just weld some legs on it. We're gonna wrap up this hot side episode. I will post some finished pictures or another video with the finished product as it's all hooked up, but there's really not much else that can go on until I get that table set up. So now I'm gonna move on to the next thing that I'm kind of dreading, which is wiring. Now, I've already pinned this harness for the 0411 swap LS computer. Common swap for the OBS guys. There is a problem though. This harness was for a 97, and I thought the 97s were gonna be exactly the same as the 98. They're not. So what I've found is the interior plugs. These ones right here, that has like 7 wires and 3 wires, right? Is a lot different than the 98 harness, which has 1 wire and a lot bigger connector. So to save you guys all the frustration and choice words that I had when I found out that I not only pinned it correctly and had it ready to go, I also put this nice MetroPack connector on it for my multi-port fuel injection marine intake manifold. So I'm not going to get into all that right now. That'll be on the whole wiring debacle, or whatever that word is going to be in the next video. So as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow this series if you're enjoying it. Please comment if you have any tips or tricks or heck, advice, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's cool.